Good morning. Welcome to Lake Street Church of Evanston. I'm Jillian Westerfield. I'm the Associate Minister, and I work directly with the children who are 5th grade and younger. I'm here with Amber Naylor. She's our pastor for youth. And this is our favorite service of the year. So, also, this is the first one that we've had in person since 2019. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So, quick announcement. So, I'm sure everyone knows that today, in addition to honoring our children and youth and volunteers, we are honoring Mrs. Nancy Childress for 31 years of service to our children. Yes. So we have a very special coffee hour planned. Coffee hour is going to be right through here. You're going to get your cake, get your drinks, and then go outside. That's where we're going to be socializing and mingling. So we are going to have Mrs. Childress, take some pictures with the cake, and then we're going to get her outside so no one is tempted to stay in McLeish. So everybody to the outside for the very special coffee hour. And we have some really fun things planned during that. So Amber, do you have anything you want to add?
I was just going to add that if you could take a look at the back of your bulletin, we have our native lands and reparations acknowledgement. This is the land of the Council of Three Fires, the Potawatomi, Ojibwe, and Odawa. This land also served as an important meeting place for the Miami, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Anoka, Sac, Fox, Peoria, Arapaho, Cheyenne, and other tribal nations. And it was the site of further white supremacy and racism, a legacy to which we also name today. And as a faith community, we join Evanston and other churches that are stepping forward to respond in accordance with our covenant to act against injustice and for peace. Blessed be.
Please stand if you... The sun rises on this new day for a new adventure. We bring experiences to share and a passion for learning. We bring caring hearts and eager minds. We give thanks to the Spirit guiding our feet.
I'd like to invite Charles White up, please. I know I saw him. Oh, there he is. So Charles is my only fifth grader this year, and he actually technically has been meeting with the youth group all year because he was one of the oldest kids in the class and it was just a better fit. But Charles is one of my favorite theologians. I've said that to anyone who will listen, and I mean it. This is a person who asks incredible questions. He thinks deeply about things that a lot of us don't think about at all, and it's just been a huge joy to get to know him over the years. I wish I could have had him a little bit longer in my class, but I know he's been a huge gift to the youth group. And with that, I'm going to present him with his fifth grade Bible.
Today's ancient witness reading is from Permission Granted by Jennifer Bird. I cannot recall how many people have asked me why I ask so many questions about the Bible instead of just believing what it says. I understand that they were simply getting tired of my challenging what they had always believed, but it also concerns me when an adult believes she cannot ask questions, whether it is of her partner or spouse, her pastor, or the book she turns to for guidance in life. If we cannot ask questions of these sources of guidance and direction, or of our life companions, why are we trusting them to a deeply personal degree? Similarly, if you believe God created you in the mind that you have, why would God say that you can apply your mind to everything in this world except for how you read the Bible? So allow me to be the one to say it. You are free to apply your brilliant mind to matters even as important as your faith and your understanding of the Bible. Permission granted. Blessed be.
Okay. Well, from the beginners class, we have two who are moving up. One is Jake Frederick, who could not be here today, and the other is Sonia Sanders, who could be, and we're so happy. Sonia, we've just really loved having you in our class. You've been just wonderful, and everyone loves you, and we will be sad to miss you, but we're glad you're going into the next group where you'll be learning more and make those people happy. We do have something to give to you. It's a wall hanging. It's a photograph of our church, and then the first words of our theme song, which we sing in our class almost every Sunday. It's God is here, God is there, God is with us everywhere. Maybe you'll hang it on your wall, and when you do, you'll have nice memories of the beginners class and make new memories of the next class. Hold these at your side. Hold these at your side. Don't show that side.
I need to put on my shoes.
Hold these at your side. Okay? Right over here, sweetie. Okay, all right.
I didn't put on my shoes.
Hold them at your side. You can do it. Here you go. Here you go. Georgia? Here you go. Okay. Okay, at your side. When I say 1, 2, 3, lift them up. And then when I point this way, we start singing. Okay, at your side. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Thank you to my dear parents. I love you very, very much. You help me every day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to my dear teachers. I love you very, very much. You help me weekdays and Sundays. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's it. You can go sit with your parents. You can go sit with your parents.
Now, I have something a little bit special that's not in your bulletin. I'm going to ask Miriam Dresser to come up to the lectern. Miriam is, her son is, I believe, 27 now, but she has been at this church since he was a very small child. And so he went through Mrs. Childress's class, and I think that Miriam's story is very representative of the hundreds of children and families that have worked with Mrs. Childress over the years. So I'm going to ask Miriam to give a special introduction.
Yes, it was on Moving Up Day 26 years ago that I sat here with my son Raven, who was about to turn 1, and I turned to his father and said, I sure hope Nancy Childress is going to still be teaching Sunday school when he makes it to kindergarten. And it was a joy to watch the kids jump up from the children's moment to run up to Sunday school. Our faith community here at Lake Street Church has always felt like an extended family to me, which we did not have here. Over the years, there have been many opportunities for the children to learn and grow, as you well know. About 20 years ago, we had a children's choir. They met right before the adult choir, and we had a meal during what we called midweek recharge. There were activities afterward in McLeish Hall, and they were supervised by older kids. At that time, led by Director Sarah Hansen and then Joan Rowe, the kids who were interested and old enough to help out learned that they could direct play and begin to learn group dynamics, playing with kids in a supervisory role. And it was a casual atmosphere that the rec committee created for the kids who wanted to help out for many other recreational events here at church as well. Raven was active at the YMCA programs, and so he got some hardcore recreation exposure. But as he entered his senior year in high school, we had a family. with a special needs little boy who needed a full-time, one-on-one assistant. And Raven was hired for that entire year, he was a senior, to be with this little boy. And he came to understand and appreciate children with special needs. After college, his work with kids continued. Six years later after that, he was hired by the Chicago Public Schools as a special education child assistant, which he just finished for two years of that. And at that time, he was beginning grad school. 2 weeks ago, he was awarded a Master of Arts in Teaching. And a week ago, he landed a job as a K-4 gym teacher. Still playing with kids. Mrs. Childress and the Lake Street Rec Committee nurtured God's will as a very fertile ground for growth and mastery. In Raven's words, to be comfortable assuming the role as supervisor. A week ago, he got married. And in 2 weeks, he's moving to Nashville, which is where the new job is, of course. Which, boy, these days, it's amazing how you just go online and interview, and then you get the job. So, just one example of the children who grew up here who are thriving because of the start they got here, with the attention of Nancy Childress and others like her. Thank you.
So now, if Mrs. Childress could come forward, I have one more little surprise. It's because of stories like the one that Miriam just told that the rec and the board voted enthusiastically and unanimously to name our children's education spaces, which are currently being renovated. Thank you. The Dudley and Nancy Childress Children's Religious Education Wing. This is presented today to Nancy Childress in gratitude for 31 years of faithful and visionary leadership in the Lake Street Church Sunday School program. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Jillian. And thank you all for that lovely, lovely happening. Now, I have written my remarks because I didn't want to talk too long. So what I want to say is that if I were to title these remarks, it would be How the People of Lake Street Church Have Just Loved Me In. Now, here's the story. It was 1991. My husband, Dudley Childress, and I were considering joining Lake Street Church, then First Baptist. We were on our way home after our third visit. We had decided to join. Dudley asked if I had seen the sleepy little girl in the aisle where we were sitting that day. I had. It was a little girl aged about 3 or 4, lying on a pew right about where Irina is now, right back from the piano, and she slept during the entire service. On the way home, Dudley had assumed that seeing the sleeping girl, there was no Sunday school for the church, for the children during that time. We had known a time for children during the worship service at our previous church. That's when he said to us, thank you, you could start a Sunday school here. Talk to Bob Thompson about it. I had been quite involved in the Sunday school in our previous church where our 2 sons had grown up. And it meant, though, working in the Sunday school then, I had missed the worship services. Dudley took notes and reviewed for me what I'd missed each Sunday. But having Sunday school for children during the worship service had been very helpful for a lot of parents. I thought it was a good procedure and worth my small sacrifice. Now, though, it was 1991, our sons were grown, and this was a possible new church affiliation. I was planning to sit beside my husband each Sunday. It would be like our weekly date. I was not eager to give up my vision of that date, but I did contact Bob Thompson, the minister then, because I had told Dudley I would, and Dudley had many good ideas. Bob Thompson was agreeable to the idea and told me to contact Jan Sutcliffe, who taught the Sunday school for children after the worship service. I felt slightly relieved at that moment. At least there was a Sunday school, and maybe I could still have my weekly date. I contacted Jan Sutcliffe, and things began to change. Jan was very enthusiastic about the possible new arrangement. She quickly suggested that I could teach the Sunday school lesson during the worship service time, and she could conduct a crafts time after the worship service, something that she'd always wanted to do. That way, the children would have 2 hours on Sunday. It sounded good. I was one. Jan never knew I had initially not wanted to do it. We would need a classroom that could accommodate both activities. We chose the room across from the present music room. It was being used for storage, but with some elbow grease, it could be ready for our target date to begin the first week in September. We made our target date. Jan had told me she usually had 3, 4, or maybe 5 students. We had 6 that first day. Our 2-hour session was a great success. Ted Muller, superintendent of the Sunday school, approved of our work, and we continued. During the next several years, our class was growing. In fact, growing enough that we could divide into separate age groups. The biggest growth came when the church embarked in the mid-1990s on the Future is Now campaign, a very effective effort to enroll more people in our church. Of special interest to me was reclaiming the room 203 for Sunday school use. That room is the largest room in the Sunday school group and had been used for several years to a private all-grade school. The school was moving. So 16 Lake Street Church congregants came on a Saturday in the spring of 2004 and repainted the room from a bright orange, as I remember, to white. The following summer, several of us made it into what we hoped would be an early childhood mecca, also known as the beginner's room. I have taught most Sundays in that room since 2004. Kristen White will be the very capable new teacher. In summary, Yes. In summary, I have grown to love this church. The people, especially the children. I have had that weekly date after all. It was with the children and my husband who helped as long as he could. Thank you, Lake Street Church, for making it possible. Thank you.
Nancy, stay. Nancy, wait. Okay.
And Sosha's going to be here too? Okay, let's have Sosha's picture. Okay, do you both want to hold it while we're talking? Okay, well, there's this lovely Chris. Oh!
Wait, here, just a second. Here, wait, wait. Here.
Oh! Oh! It'll be a bouquet to take home.
And they each have a card for you. And
thank you.
Can you open Zosha's card? She wrote a necklace for the picture.
Okay, all right. I am
Can you
too.
hold this a second?
And then open Zosha's card. Okay, I hold this. All right, and now how am I going to open Zosha's card? Where is Zosha's card? I can't see Zosha's card. Oh, I do see it way down here. Okay. Zosha has written something. Oh, my, she's made a necklace. Oh. Oh. All right. Thank you, thank you. That's going to be so pretty. All right. I think we get to go down now. Okay, here we go.
I would much rather be ruled by those who know how to play than by those who do not know how to play. It is not only possible to say a great deal in praise of play, it is really possible to say the highest things in praise of it. It might reasonably be maintained that the true object of all human life is play. Earth is a task garden, heaven is a playground. To be at last in such a secure innocence that one can juggle with the universe and the stars. To be so good that one can treat everything as a joke. That may be perhaps the real end and final holiday of human souls. Blessed be.
Okay, this one's working. So, if you have your bulletins, you should have a piece of red paper and a piece of green paper inside. Everybody's going to need one of each, because we're going to play a little game.
Here, take this one. Okay, I'll work on that one. Is there a button?
You have to unscrew it to get in there.
Oh. All right, so as we said in our second ancient witness reading, we like play. And as we said in the call to worship, we're both students and teachers. So this morning we're playing Bible trivia. I saw a lot more scared faces than excited faces. And I could tell that even with your masks on. So, you have a green piece of paper and a red piece of paper. That is how you're going to answer, by lifting up one of the pieces of paper in the air. Don't worry, there's no teams, there's no points. It's just you against yourself. And what you win is the satisfaction of maybe you'll learn a thing, maybe you'll get something right. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. So there's 5 different categories, and I'll let our friends up in the front get to pick when we get there. We have Torah, which is the very beginning part of the Bible. We have prophets. We have places. We have Jesus, which is the guy that comes towards the end of the Bible. And then we have Baptists, and they're technically not in the Bible, but it's like kind of our thing, so I added it on. And then we have easy, medium, and hard questions. And I tried to make the hard ones like not seminary hard. So we'll see how it goes. Do we have someone to pick our first question?
Yeah, any question you want.
Any question?
Well, what category
Which
do
category?
you want?
Torah, prophets, places, Jesus, or Baptist?
Do you
Jesus. Easy, medium, or hard?
Medium Jesus question. You got it. So this is going to be a true or false question. So we're going to do green for true, red for false. True or false? Jesus was born in a stable. I see a lot of greens. I see a few reds.
False. The Bible never says he was born in a stable. He was born in a manger. And we tend to draw it in a stable, but it was probably a cave.
Nice, nice. Who wants to go next? Rohan, I saw your hand. Torah hard. Oh my goodness. Do you want to do this one?
Sure. Abraham's son Isaac, also known as Israel, had 12 sons. Which of these two options was one of them? Green for Benjamin or red for Joseph?
All right. Lots of red, a little bit of green.
It's a trick question. Everyone's right. Benjamin and Joseph were two of his sons.
Yep. Good one. Good job. Did you already go? No, you didn't. You just look a lot like your sister. Andrew. Place is easy. Okay. This is another true-false. The temple of the Hebrew Bible / Old Testament is a real place that exists today.
It's an easy question. Don't overthink it.
It's a place
True.
you can go today.
You're correct. It is true. Remains of the building exist. I've seen it. All right. Who wants to ask our next question? We haven't had any from this side. Ari, go. Jesus and hard. Which disciple was Jesus' brother? Green for James, red for Peter. It was green for James. Woo. I saw a couple people put up both. It was a good guess.
Aren't we all like brothers and sisters and siblings in Christ? I think I saw Hazel's hand up.
Torah, yeah.
Torah easy? Okay. This is a true-false. When Noah filled the ark with his family and the animals, it rained for 30 days. 30 days?
Everyone with red up is correct. It was 40 days. In the blue mask. Place is hard.
Ooh.
Where did Christianity arrive first? Green for Ethiopia or red for what is now known as Italy?
Green for Ethiopia, red for Italy.
The Greens have it.
Something that a lot of people don't realize is that Martin Luther was actually influenced by Ethiopian Christianity even. He looked towards that as a more like sort of older and closer to original Christianity.
Anybody in the balcony want to pick a category?
No? Ooh.
Ooh.
All right, it's a true false. The capacity to believe whatever our conscience leads us to is called the priesthood of all believers. Is that true or false? Oh, sorry, true for green, red for false.
It is false. The capacity to believe whatever our conscience leads us to is called soul freedom or soul liberty. It was a hard one.
That is a hard one.
Have you guessed? Prophet's medium. Which prophet talked to a valley of dry bones until they danced? Green for Ezekiel or red for Isaiah? It is green. I might not actually know the song.
Dry bones, dry bones. You know the song.
Probably.
You know the song. Michael's hand has been up forever. Which one you want? Places medium? Okay. Places. All right. The place where Jesus is buried is called green for Gethsemane or red for Golgotha. Where Jesus is buried. Gethsemane is green, red for Golgotha.
Ooh. We have a lot of both colors. It was red, Golgotha. Jesus went to Gethsemane before he died. Yes. Jesus and easy. Was it my turn?
So this is a true false. At the wedding in Cana, Jesus turned water into wine. True or false? Water into wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
True is green, false is red.
Good job.
Yeah.
Everyone had that one.
How many do we have left?
We got 5 left.
Okay.
This prophet was swallowed by a fish for 3 days and lived. Green for Micah or red for Jonah? Yeah, Jonah.
It says it's a fish.
It says fish.
We draw it as a whale, but it wasn't a whale. It's okay, that's in the Jewish part of the Bible. You wouldn't.
Yes. Prophet's hard.
Prophet's hard. In the middle of his sermon, the prophet Jeremiah smashed a clay pot to prove his point. Green for true, red for false. Did Jeremiah smash a pot in the middle of his sermon?
The Greens have it. That is true. All right, just 3 questions left. Baptist easy.
Baptist easy, all right. American Baptists were formed when the Baptists split over the issue of slavery. Green for true, red for false. Did we split over the issue of slavery?
That is
Green for true.
correct. Good job, Greens.
Yeah. If y'all don't know, the American Baptists were against slavery, just to be clear.
Baptist medium. American Baptists have 3 ordinances: baptism, communion, and marriage. True or false?
Green for true, red for false.
We seem very divided. That is false. Marriage is not an ordinance. There are only 2 ordinances: baptism and communion. Last question, Torah for medium.
Let's see. Who was Moses' wife? Green for Miriam or red for Zipporah? Was it Miriam or was it Zipporah?
The Reds have it. It was Zipporah.
Miriam was his sister.
Miriam, yes. All right, a round of applause for everyone. While I put this away, will my high school seniors come down? All right, this is a special bunch this year. I know that I say that every year, but this group has spent all 6 years of their youth group with me. I remember in July of 2016, my very first day living in Chicago, I came here for an in-person interview by this panel. I had to be interviewed by a panel of 7th graders, 6th and 7th graders, and I've got to tell you, there's nothing quite like getting ready to be judged by a panel of middle schoolers. It is probably still the most intimidating interview I've ever done. But fortunately for me, they liked me and well enough to offer me the job, and I've had the privilege of being their youth director for 6 years. Over the last 6 years, we have done at least 3 adventure weeks, cabin campouts, lock-ins. We've watched Ferris Bueller like maybe 6 times. It was really nice to connect with these 4 specifically last March when we went on a retreat to Camp Mac. And to hear about all their exciting plans and hopes for their future. At that time, they were all wrestling with what came next after graduation, and I'm excited to share where they have decided to go. And having them as a part of our youth program has been a tremendous gift and a joy. And we're gonna miss them, and I don't know what our youth program's gonna be like without them. I've never been here without them in our program. So Harrison Bryn graduated from ETHS. He will be joining his older brother at the University of Nebraska, Reno, where he'll be studying marketing in the College of Business. Max Chilson was not able to be here today because he's currently in the middle of a race. He will be attending Lise McRae College in North Carolina as an athlete on their Division I cycling team, and he'll be majoring in finance. Cornelia DeJoya is with us on Zoom right now. She wasn't feeling great this morning. She also graduated from Evanston Township High School. She will be going to Grinnell to study history and music. Molly Ferguson is our 4th ETHS graduate. She is unable to be here today because she's attending a family funeral out of town, but she will be taking a gap year, and among other things, she will be doing a yoga teacher training. and then she will attend Oberlin College in the fall of 2023. Chloe Gabriel graduated from Highland Park High School with the seal of biliteracy in Spanish. She'll be using her language skills in her upcoming travels and at Colorado State University, where she'll begin her studies in the fall in zoology. Lindsay Sax graduated from Niles North High School. She'll be going to Oberlin College in the fall and majoring in physics. And last but not least, Kendall Trinter will be graduating from Lane Tech High School and will be attending Miami University and majoring in business. Congratulations to the class of 2022. The Youth Leadership Award was started in 2019 to recognize youth who go above and beyond in their service and dedication to the youth program throughout the year. This year's winner is a youth who not only attended Sunday school, social events, and service projects consistently, both this year and throughout the pandemic, but would regularly encourage other youth to come with them. This person stuck with confirmation even when it took 2 years longer than usual, and they're always looking for ways to help out, usually before I've even asked. The Youth Committee and I are excited and grateful to give this year's Youth Leadership Award to Diego Jolly. And finally, I would like to take a moment to recognize 3 members of my youth committee who have served for at least 6 years, probably longer, with unending enthusiasm, patience, and support for the youth program and myself. They are each coming off the committee now, moving on to new things, and they leave huge shoes to fill. So if Carrie Bryn, Chris Walker, and Jim Huffman could stand if you're here, please help me thank them. And on that note, the Youth Committee is still recruiting for next year, and we'd love to have you. Now is the time for our offering. There are plates in the back for those who are here in person. If you'd like to give electronically, there is a QR code. If you're with us on Zoom, there is a link to our website. And we want to remind you, as we do each month, that we have a fellowship fund created to help members of our community when personal emergencies occur. And the fund is constantly in need of replenishment during, so we're asking Lake Streeters to help rebuild the fund by including a check in our offering or going online to our website and donating electronically to the fellowship fund, or mailing a check to the church office with fellowship fund marked in the memo line. All undesignated currency in today's offering will be going to that fund. This is a reminder to fill out your prayer cards if you haven't yet done so, because the ushers will collect them as we get ready to do communion. I'd like to take a moment to bless our offering. Holy One, we offer up to you these gifts of time, energy, attention, and money. Together, may they help us form a stronger team, a stronger community to do your will in the world. Help us to use these in the best way possible and to help us live into a life of abundance. Amen and blessed be.
Here the table is set. Here a meal is prepared. Here we gather to celebrate the table fellowship of Jesus, to remember that every meal is sacred, every being is holy.
At this table, our bodies and our senses are reminded that we are eternally embedded in this one in whom we live and move and have our being.
We are always living in union with the divine, but we are often so busy, so preoccupied, so filled with judgments and expectations that we forget that life itself is communion with the divine.
Jesus provides for us a living reminder that God is in all and all are in God. Through the Holy One, we are eternally connected and in union with all things within and above time.
This is why our invitation to this table is utterly simple. You are welcome just as you are. There are no conditions or requirements. All are welcome.
On the night before Jesus was crucified, he took the bread, blessed it, and broke it, saying, "Do this in remembrance of me."
In the same way, after supper, Jesus took the cup, blessed it, and said, "Do this in remembrance of me. As often as you eat and drink, which is every day, remember me. Remember what I taught, remember what I stood for, remember my path of love, remember me."
Food for the journey.
Drink to sustain you.
As we open ourselves to the fullness of life, we also open our hearts to one another.
All right, please join me now in lifting up the prayers and joys of our congregation. We have prayers of deep gratitude for our Lake Street Church teachers, students, and parents. We have prayers for overcoming health issues from Erica. We have prayers for a vibrant, gifted, youthful 40-year-old who has a 5-year-old daughter. The mother has colon cancer. Prayers for our fragile democracy, and to also ask, what can I do? Prayers for Rob, who is recovering today from surgery. Prayers that we are finding ways to take care of and support our youth so that they know and feel God's love and presence. Also prayers for Rita's family. Prayers for Diego on his birthday. May the Spirit continue to guide and comfort him on his life journey. Prayers for a niece and her husband for healing in their marriage. Prayers, as I worship today, I realize how beautiful this congregation is. Thank you, Nancy. Holy One, we lift up all of these prayers and also the ones that are unspoken, that are resting on our hearts and minds, and from all of our friends who are joining us online. We ask you to bring people the comfort, the peace, the joy, the healing, the guidance that we all crave. and that you may be as close as our next breath. Blessed be.
Permission granted to be the best poet since Ophrys played his lyre, to spread your love to everyone you meet and greet, to rise above life's trials and tribulations, like a phoenix rising from the fire, to be at peace in your own presence regardless of the havoc that rages all around, to speak the gentle truth with humility, to be compassionate to all, to spread your inner light far and wide and never ever hide behind thinking small, but will you give permission to your best self? Blessed be.
This benediction is an ending for many of us here today. We send you forth with love and hope. Though we don't know when we will see you next, we will always have space for you and be here for you going forward. Amen and blessed be.